touchdown play, Marcus looked like he was sacked for a minute, got away. How big was that? You guys go and you get that go-ahead touchdown from there.
There were a lot of big plays, and certainly that was a huge one for us. But you know, that's what we come to expect out of him. He's I've said it before, he's just a special kid. That when he's got to make a play, he just somehow seems to make it. It did look like he was sacked, but somehow he squirts out. And we get it exactly right at the right distance and convert. But that was huge for us in those situations. You know, when you get the ball over midfield, we're probably going to go for it. It's too long for us to kick a field goal, and the yards, I think it was on a 38 or something, so you're only going to get 18 yards if it rolls into the end zone on the red zone punt, so we felt like it was a good situation to go for. We wouldn't mind putting our defense on the field in that situation, but we know that put the ball in his hands, hopefully something's going to happen.
What did D'Anthony show you with pretty much a full load once Kenyon went down?
We know what he can do. The one thing that we've always been fortunate is we got a couple of really good players in that position, so there's only one ball. It's the same thing when Michael was down a little bit last year and Kenyon had stepped up. We got some depth, fortunately, at that position. So Kenyon was out for a little bit there at the end of the first half. And, when you can bring 6 off the bench, it's a huge boost for us. So.
Can you talk about how your kids responded to his first loss in like a year today?
I thought they did pretty good.
You mentioned your defense. You got 4 interceptions today. Did you have something in mind when you came into this game that you kind of?
No, you never have, a number or whatever it is, but our defense has been opportunistic. I think they lead the country in turnovers caused, and that's one of the fortes of what we do as a group. Those guys are a bunch of ball hawks back there. Kiko had another one. He seems like he's always around the football. I thought Brian Jackson made some really good plays. Our safeties made some really good plays. And we knew going into the game that they had 2 outstanding receivers, and we need Cooks, and that was going to be a big matchup for us.
Chip, after struggling a little bit the last couple of weeks with the run, what did you guys do to especially free up Kenyon in the first half?
We ran the same plays we ran every week.
What was the difference then?
We blocked him better.
You're 4-0 now as a head coach of this rivalry. Rivalry means a lot to people of this state, aside from the obvious winning the game. Does it have a little special meaning for you to be undefeated in this game 4 years straight?
Yeah, this has a huge meaning for us. Washington game has a huge meaning for us. We're undefeated against every team in the conference except for Stanford and USC, so all of those we take a lot of pride. But you can tell for some reason the fans don't seem like they like us very much when we come up here, and that's okay. But I think our guys do a great job of being able to block that out and playing against a real good team and execute against good teams. That was a good defense that we were able to run the football on, and to be able to keep Cooks and Wheaton kind of at bay a little bit. I think really talks about the preparation that these guys had. And I know Monday when we went back to work on Monday that we had a great week of practice and a great week of preparation, and that's what paid off for us.
Seems like a few results to try to kind of block out today. And you mentioned the focus. I mean, bouncing back from last week, but also the other dominoes that might fall later today that I'm sure you wanted you guys not thinking about when they took the field. How did you feel about the level of focus and kind of where you guys were at mentally when the game kicked off?
Good question. I thought they were great. And dominoes meant nothing if we didn't take care of business. So that means really, you can't be a scoreboard watcher. You got to go out and play. If we weren't win today, it meant nothing. So I think those guys understood what do we worry about, what do we control. That's the big thing with this group is let's just focus on what we can control. What we can control is our effort and attitude and preparation for Oregon State, and they took care of that, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Chip, did you sense that even though the score got lopsided, that Oregon State was a much improved team just on the field? What you've seen?
Yeah, I've always thought they were a good football team. I think Mike does a hell of a job. Mike's a great football coach, and there's some players out there that are the top players in our conference. And we've seen them live and in person. They're as good as advertised.
You mentioned the guys up front. You challenge them in particular at all this week? How were they able to kind of rally from the last couple of weeks?
Honestly, we didn't change. We didn't ask our guys. We do the same things Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, I give Stanford credit. I thought they played really well. And that's what I told our guys. I thought Stanford played well. But that's in the past. Let's move on. The great thing about this team is, they've lost 3 conference games in 4 years. And they've never lost back-to-back games. So we got a great group of leaders. The older guys have been fantastic. And there's, it's not speeches or rah-rah stuff and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't last. Put your time in and do your work during the week, and it plays out for you on Saturday. So.
You obviously can't control what happens from here, but how much will you be paying attention to what happens the rest of the day?
Oh, you got to pay attention. We got to know if we're practicing tomorrow or not. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, oh, did that happen? We got to go back to the office and start breaking down UCLA tape. if UCLA is fortunate to win, then we're playing next Friday night. So, you know, we have a plan in place, and we already know our schedule, and what time we're working out tomorrow morning, what time we're lifting, what time position meetings and whatnot. And it all hinges on the Stanford game. So we have a plan in place if Stanford were to lose, we really ready to go to work tomorrow morning. So
You have a birthday celebration in place?
I got a game ready.
You text with Lane Kiffin, you text anybody else saying go get him?
No, and then that was, Kif texted me about my trip to Africa and thought it was a really cool thing, and his wife wanted to be a part of it, and I just wished him good luck this week, so, you know.
Can you talk about the group of seniors and what they meant to the program in the last 4 years?
Yeah, they've been fantastic, you know, that group of guys, the Michael Clays and Dion and Kenyon and Nick Cody and Isaac Remington, there's a lot of guys in there, but, you know, I don't know, I think it's 45-7 in the last 4 years, you know, 3 conference losses in 4 years. It's a special group of guys, and not only are they great football players, they've done an unbelievable job of what we call culture keepers, is making sure the young guys understand how we go about things, how we do things, and why we do things, and they've been fantastic. It's a special group.
And then specifically in this game, you guys really turned it on in the second half. What was that result?
You know, we stuck to our plan, you know, and I think usually that's what happens to us, is an opportunity to wear some people down. We ran some plays in the first half, so had some numbers on our side. You know, we had close to 300 yards at halftime rushing, and that wears people down you know, during the course of a game. And, you know, eventually things are going to break, you know, and then that's what happened, and that's always been kind of our MO. So.
When you see games that are lost in this conference, up and down, all the time, back-to-back, 3 in a row, whatever the case may be, do these kids ever surprise you that they have not put themselves in that situation really in 4 years?
No, they don't surprise me because I see them every day, you know, and that's the one thing that I think we're fortunate to have is that we have a bunch of guys, and I said it last Saturday that I would know how we would do when I see them on Monday. And on Monday, you know, they were good. You know, I think, honestly, I think our coaches were worse on Sunday than, myself included, you know, than our guys were, but, you know, they forget a lot quicker than we do. I think things last with us a lot longer, but we shook it off Sunday. They didn't see us Sunday, which was a good thing, but you know, I went into work on Fort Berry Sunday morning, so we couldn't have practiced anyways. I wasn't very good that day, so. But we shook off the rust, and those guys gave us great energy. As a staff, we put together, I think, our offensive staff and defensive staff put really good plans together, you know, in terms of how to attack these guys. And, you know, we were fortunate to get where we are. We're 11-1. We got 1 league loss, and we'll see if that's good enough. But again, it's on us because we put it in someone else's hands. So, you know, we cheering like hell for UCLA, but we really have no outcome on it. We have no bearing on the outcome of that game.